Finally, week 1. I excused Adrienne during music class today and spoke with her about her recent string of demerits. It was our first time meeting outside of our quarterly evaluations, and I believe it went well. I can certainly understand Mrs. Richardson's classroom observations concerning Adrienne's emotional state. She was, of course, intensely shy when we first met. As I understand it, she is similarly drawn in her classroom activities or withdrawn in her classroom activities and only speaks or acts when she absolutely must. Something she simply will not do. Instead of participating in mandatory group activities, she will sit alone and accept that she will receive a demerit. Before the meeting, I read Mrs. Richardson's parent-teacher report, which allowed me to estimate some about Adrienne's home life. The parents are well educated and come from a prestigious background, but they lack time to properly nurture Adrienne. She is often alone, and when she is not, the parents seem to not understand the importance of warmth and affirmation when dealing with someone so young. Having two parents of this reserved and icy temperament exacts inhibition in a child. The child's imagination is subdued, but only ostensibly, for it eventually finds its way into regular life. I surmised that I would be able to reach out to Adrienne by way of make-believe. How are you liking your new house? You've told me you used to live close by, but it still can be a big adjustment. A new room, a new school. The basement, I like that. Basement. Yeah, well, there's a lot of cool stuff. Mom and Dad sent me down there. Your mom and Dad made you go? Yeah, but there's lots of cool stuff. Well, it's not why they sent me down there, though. Why did they send you down there? Fighting. They were fighting, shouting. I came in to help, and they shouted at me. They said, go clean up downstairs, so I went. That sounds tough. Do they fight a lot? No. Well, It's all right, Adrienne. Maybe you can tell me more about the basement instead. Okay, well, it was weird at first, the stuff down there. But cool. I found something living, sort of. It's very interesting, Adrienne. Please tell me more. By indulging her in her fantasies and stories, I was able to glean more of an understanding of Adrienne's anxiety surrounding her home and parents. The symbols of Adrienne's story seem to carry their own traumatic weight, and her exploration of the basement may very well be a vehicle for the conveyance of her anxiety. Whatever might come of our next meeting, whether she will engage in similar make-believe, I will set down her story here. Adrienne's story begins with her delving into the basement with a trash receptacle and the goal of cleaning up. She discovered one of the walls was covered in plastic bags. She went to investigate, intent on tearing away whatever they covered. What am I supposed to be doing here? Well, I can't... Oh my god. Oh, here we go. Going on here. Okay, so I have to move to the trash. Oh, that's how it works. Okay. Upon removing the plastic trash bags from the wall, she noticed their interior lining was covered in glass. Like a window, I offered. No, she said, like a mirror. Reflecting inward towards the animal they covered. I gently asked her what exactly this animal was. Here is where the material reality of the story took a turn for the explicitly fantastic and imaginary. Upon her discovery of it, at her gaze it grew or extended, its shaggy-haired self. Hair like the fur of a dog, I offered. No, she said. Not the fur fur of a dog nor the hair on her head. It grew outwards towards her, the animal's hair reaching out. It was hard, standing almost straight like the hair on a brush. A bristle, I offered. Yes, she said. She was very afraid at first, but then very curious. I asked her what else was in the room. More things hidden away, she said, things of Grandpa's as well. First she found a hidden passage under the stairs. Inside were strange dolls, magic objects, naked, faceless figures. I heard these cryptic utterances and merely nodded. In order to keep the game of make-believe going, I only pressed for details where I thought necessary. The faceless dolls could be a simple metaphor for the anonymity she feels in her own home. The hidden passage, I am unsure of what to make of that. The revealing of the concealed seemed to be thematic in her fantasy. The door under the stairs is but one example. I don't know. I'm not sure. The darkness of the shadowy corner unnerves you. You cannot explore here without some form of light. There is a door. Trash pile. No. I'm supposed to do anything here. Once she removed the panel and found the magical hidden passage, she was very specific about what she took. She found a magic book, a magic doll, a photo of her late grandpa, and magic glue. Oh boy. Papers crudely bound together to form a book. Eurasian steppe shamanism and the fusiform gyrus, an interdisciplinary study in sympathetic magic, a dissertation. Jacob Hart. The impetus of this research was the recognition of a particular pattern in fragments of documents relating to magic and magico-religious practices. Numerous sources were drawn from commentaries on laws relating to the banning of sorcery and necromancy, compilations of folk charms relating to love spells, hagiographs of saints and their encounters with devils. The list spans many centuries and a great distance, from the Levant, the Khazar Khaganate, to the border of the modern nation-states of Russia and Kazakhstan today. From this paper trail arose a consistent account about a certain form of magic relating to the binding of demons to a sorcerer's will. A demon called the Heaven of Needles, or the Angel of Needles, was known to be kept best by shamanic keepers or wards who suffer from face blindness, prosopagnosia, whether by birth or through developmental causes like a stroke or head injury. It was known to be extremely effective but terribly dangerous, so much so that it became outlawed several times and was generally a popular scapegoat relating to unexpected death. This nexus of magico-religious meaning-making, sorcery regarding human-related desires, and the history and science of neurological disorders related to the fusiform gyrus is where the subject of this dissertation will reside. I will outline further and then analyze the historical sources I mentioned previously. Then I will go into the neurology of mystic and magico-religious experiences. Yeah, this is very specific. After that, I will detail my ongoing correspondence with the resident of the Ural mountain region, who is an expert folklorist and keeper of traditions he claims have been passed down through his extended family for generations. Peppa Pig episode. All-purpose glue. Okay. clean. This place will not be dirty again until next week. Photo of your late grandfather. Mr. What's supposed to say? Oh. I didn't get to read it. Oh well. A slouching doll. Its material is rough and coarse. I interrupted to ask what she did with these magical, mysterious materials. "For Grandpa," she explained plainly, and then, without missing a beat, she continued on with her story. Feeling this was a potent symbol, I stopped her again to ask what she meant. Somewhat puzzled, I did not understand immediately. She explained slowly. "Grandpa lives in the cage in the other room, cage behind the door, and he grew people in the cage." What? A hastily written note. "I have repeatedly called your homes to no avail, and so I am forced to leave this here for you all. I found William sitting in the corner of the enclosure area, seeming severely concussed. Whiskers were gone, and none of his usual hiding places." What? I immediately suspected the worst. The project thus must be suspended for now. I am leaving up the usual mirror coverings we used to keep the anthropoidic void sealed. I have done my best to lock up everything on such short notice. It is a hasty fix, but it will require some time to find a more permanent remedy. I am honestly hoping you do not find this note, as I intend to lock the house down too. I intend to race off to you to retrieve your lockbox keys. Do not worry about William's key. It and the rest of his equipment is almost certainly deep within Whiskers now. I pray you do not enter this room. No matter how it may appear, William cannot be helped and is only being kept alive as a means of continuing predation on the rest of us. I will say once again, no matter what state you may encounter William in, he cannot be helped. I have sympathy for the young man, I truly do, but I found on his person several photos of his late sister, which would imply certain risks he knew he was taking. I don't know, Debrell. I don't know what the hell's going on. First of all, the first game I played, I was some monster underground that killed people and ate them. And now I'm playing a little girl who's in a... And I just don't know. There's this weird shit. So, our extant research materials have now become possible liabilities, either criminal or professional in nature. So I have stashed them away. I believe I let you all know how I might do this, if we were ever to experience an event such as this. I hope you all remember what I told you. So long, then. Dr. H. A note on experiment 2-4. 4. The sample's exposure to some of our neural activity is unavoidable. However, the speed at which its desirous yield is produced can be dampened by several precautions regarding libidinal and emotional urges. What? Keep conversation not related to lab work to a minimum. If you begin to suspect you are developing attachments to your colleagues, contact me as soon as possible. Oh, this is 1 or 4. Oh no, I wanted to read it. Damn it. Ritual behavior with the sample, trading, bargaining, will result in dismissal from the project. What? The precise mechanism of the exchange of symbols and gifts required for a requested desirous yield is not known, and even then anecdotal accounts of success are illegible. End in violent death. Regarding growth cycles, every time Whiskers regenerates and leaves dormancy, it is to be logged as a new propagation. The sample's bodily existence cannot be, it says illegible, i.e., a part cannot be cut from the whole, so there can be only one living propagation. Propagations are to be terminated after 5 weeks. What the fuck is going on? Any further development puts us at risk. Termination procedures will be posted and followed with extreme care. With all of that out of the way, I want to welcome you to the project. I look forward to working with you, Dr. Hart. I know. I don't know what happened. I couldn't read 1 of 4. Hold on. All right, I guess we're going in. Beyond the door in the room, the cage was hidden, concealed in another cloak of inward-facing mirrors. A hidden cage lined with mirrors. It is strange, almost poetic, the elaborate fantasy of self-reflection, concealment, captivity. The cage, she finally cast her spell. But it was confusing, she confided at first. She took the magic doll, the magic glue, and the photo of her grandpa, and she combined them, and she wished very hard. I can only assume in this fantasy that next her wish would come true. And what child's story would it not? What am I doing here? Particular human representation. Grandpa. Generic human figure. Doll. Glue together. Lovely. A tangible symbol of intention and desire. She put Grandpa in the cage, assuming that was part of the ritual. She was not clear on how it worked. What precise instructions she could glean from her grandfather's magic book was complicated by her reading comprehension. It is our grandpa, isn't it? She wished with all her heart, and then she told me she waited a while for something, anything to happen, and after that time she began to cry. I cried really hard, she said. I wanted Grandpa to be back. I wanted my parents to stop being so mean. And it hurt me. It hurt me wish for Grandpa to come back, for my parents to be different. I could feel it through the walls, and it felt me through the air. I asked her what exactly she meant. She could only repeat what she said. By this time, lunch was almost over. I said goodbye to Adrienne, and she left to rejoin her class. I was left to consider our conversation. I believe the storytelling strategy I have employed was not unfruitful, but I must probe deeper if I can. Although I can be sure of nothing I interpret, the impressions I get may begin to help me get an idea of the right questions to ask. Knowledge you acquired this week has given you access to certain topics or keywords you can discuss with Grandpa. What? What is going this? You have gained the conversation wish. Consider discussing this when Grandpa emerges. Oh my God, is Grandpa really gonna emerge? Shit. Okay. You have also gained the following keyword. Shall. Consider discussing this when Grandpa emerges. Week 2. Yeah. I met again with Adrienne in order to address her emotional outbursts in the past few weeks. It is our second time meeting, and while it is standard practice to have multiple sessions with a troubled student, as I assemble a report for the counseling department, I could not help but think, as we sat down in my office, that Adrienne always seemed to show a remarkable change in self-esteem and confidence, and perhaps my and Mrs. Richardson's estimation of her was emotionally disturbed was erroneous. The paralyzing shyness and withdrawn attitude Adrienne possessed last week was not entirely diminished, but she seemed to hold herself differently this week. However, this only lasted as long as our conversation pertained to initial introductory pleasantries. When I began once again asking about her parents, her feelings regarding her new school and her new home, she quickly lost what new confidence she had gathered up and withdrew again into herself. So, once again, I partook in some collaborative make-believe. This time, I was aided by the fact that I had managed to do some research into Adrienne's grandfather, and I had some insight into what she might actually be finding in the basement. Now, this may be overstepping my bounds some as a school counseling caseworker, but this was all in the service of making Adrienne comfortable and happy in this learning environment. In any case, I was able to dig up information regarding the grandfather by inquiring at the university in town. Not that I make it a habit of sleuthing, but I had a suspicion the grandfather was a professor there, or at least some sort of researcher, due to the fact that the newly constructed laboratory on the campus I drive by every day bears his name and memorial. He was some sort of anthropologist or linguist or neuroscientist. I did not have to dig that deep before the scope of his work became dizzying, and I ran up against the limits of my undergraduate education. But back to the make believe. What is your grandpa like? Is he a smart man? Not anymore, but I'm teaching him. So he's grown a good deal then. You have been feeding him well. Yeah, he's getting bigger, but he has a lot of room in his cage. He's still behind the bars? Yeah, well, he might be able to climb out eventually. There's this vent in the ceiling. Well, perhaps if he climbs out, I could meet him someday. Yeah, maybe, but he's not ready to leave. He can't take care of himself. I have to feed him, pick up after him. Damn it, Debrel! Why did you have to put that image into my head? Ah, you store the food in your lunchbox? That's nice of you to share. He can almost talk. Cannot speak with him? He doesn't. He doesn't have a mouth. Sort of. But how do you feed him? He has a mouth on the outside, on his shell, or the stuff that is his skin. I'm a little confused. Maybe you can go through a typical day with your grandpa. Okay. I asked her to explain how exactly she goes about growing your grandpa, and Adrienne began another tale. According to Adrienne, in the week that had passed, much had changed in the basement. Oh boy. The hairy thing that was here before is gone. Oh, this is the lunchbox. Your lunchbox is currently empty. Seek out food for... Oh, I gotta find food for Grandpa. Alright. You should go see Grandpa first. Okay. It was scary at first, she said. The way he moved, the way the doll's skin covered him. I wanted to interject. This somehow seemed inappropriate, but I kept listening. When I look at him, she continued, when I think about him, he grows and moves. It's like he is growing for me. So he's growing bigger now, I asked. Yes, she said, bigger every day. What the fuck? This begins the actual growing part of growing your grandpa. Beneath the doll's burlap skin, the follicles knit together what resembles a proper person. Your grandpa, what? You're in charge of its cognitive development and diet until it is able to sustain itself. Currently, you're observing Grandpa. Please click the arrow back button below for a brief tutorial of your duties as caretaker. Oh my god. Okay, here we can see a variety of options regarding growing Grandpa. Highlighted in red are objectives related to feeding and teaching Grandpa. Important messages regarding Grandpa's recent activity will also appear here. You'll need to find it food and learning material before you can move on to the next week. Some foods will make Grandpa happy, others merely content. Some food will make Grandpa disgusted to the point of nausea. Learning material is also scattered throughout the basement. Seek out vocabulary cards intended to help teach English and basic anthropoidic concept formation. Options highlighted in red are related to navigating around Grandpa's enclosure. There's a kitchen corner. To go to the Grandpa option will let you perform... Oh, they go. Will let you perform all actions directly related to Grandpa. Feeding, teaching, observing, etc. I don't know. Probably. Accessing the study corner will let you go over any documents you pick up as the weeks go by. It's a good idea to learn about the work of the people who last occupied this place. Accessing the kitchen corner will let you search for food in the old refrigerator and prepare food for Grandpa if need be. The help button will replay. Okay. The save game button will save your current progress. You can only have one save file at a time, so if you have saved data, you will be asked to... Okay, yeah. Alright. More buttons may or may not appear depending on your development of Grandpa, so watch out for them. final note. Take care to explore the basement at your leisure. However, due to the entropic nature of clutter and trash, different weeks may allow you to find things you had previously not discovered. Good luck. Oh, shit. Alright, so I gotta... Let me save the game. Alright, so go to kitchen corner. Search in the fridge. What is this? Lettuce. It looks edible. Grandpa might like this. Brown banana. It looks edible. Okay. Soft fruit. Okay, banana. Unappealing item. I don't have any unappealing items. Alright, I guess I gotta look more. Look over documents. Oh, here are these notes, the one note I missed. Alright, the sample's exposure to some of our neuronal activity is unavoidable. However, the speed at which its desirous yield is produced can be dampened by several precautions regarding libidinal and emotional urges. Okay, no, we read that one about the libidinal or urges. Where is the back one? Orient. Oh, here we go. One. For the sake of university policy and the health of any future career you hope to have, you will abide by the non-disclosure contract you have signed. Do not break the anthropoidic vacuum without my prior consultation and approval, and any anthropoidic forms brought into the enclosure area must not be left unattended. When not in dormancy, the samples will attempt to take anthropoid shells. Please see shell notes for more on that. Okay, so they're doing like some weird experiments on something, like some being, some entity, some creature, and she's thinking it's her grandfather. Well, I'm gonna guess it was her grandfather doing this, right? Because he was some type of big shot professor or something that they actually dedicated some building to. So what is this? Medical imaging device. Alright, we're searching. Examine educational posters. Oh, I don't really see anything here. A set of procedures regarding disposal internment. You can examine this in detail later at the study corner. Okay. The researcher will seal off the enclosure bars, ensuring minimal gas leakage during the later fumigating process, and then retrieve the burn barrel and place it near the enclosure. 2. Allow at least 48 hours of time where the current growth cycle experiences no human-related stimuli. Do not enter the enclosure area nor any part of the basement. Ideally, you will not be on the grounds at all. 3. After 48 hours, 2 researchers will enter the basement wearing their assigned mirror mask, mirror apron, and powered air-purifying respirator. The researcher will use the vent system to fumigate the enclosure area. Wait 30 minutes and then use the fan system to ventilate the enclosure. Keep the fans running during steps 3 and 4. 4. Re-enter the enclosure area wearing your assigned mirror masks and aprons. The organism may or may not be in complete dormancy. It is not in full dormancy. If it is not in full dormancy, be assured that its capacity to act against you will be greatly diminished. With your assigned power drills, quickly remove any enclosure bars needed to access the organism. Put them aside for later reinstallation. Hold on. Okay, and she's just playing around with this thing? 5. Put the organism into the burn barrel. Incinerate the organism thoroughly. Wait for any smoke to be properly cleared by the fan system. 6. Turn off the fans. 1 researcher will retrieve the nucleus from the ash and place it in the mirror box. The other researcher will sift through the ash and place any other substantial remains in the biohazard bin in the room outside of the enclosure area. The bin is locked for safety purposes. The code is... Okay, I better write this down. This is because I'm probably going to have to get it. The code is 32325. Okay, got it. The researchers will fill out a termination form and leave it for Dr. Hart. Alright, you gained the conversation biohazard bin, okay? Alright, so search file cabinet. So, did her parents know their father or the mom's father, whoever, was doing crazy shit like this down here? Because they're just upstairs fighting like crazy. All clean. This place will not be dirty again until next week. An account of an acquisition. It was said to pass from one family of steppe people to another, but pressed on its ultimate origin, illegible, somewhere to the south, coiled in a bowl covered in incantations, buried upside down by a graveyard, a common late antiquity demon trap. The keeper, an elderly man in failing health, was ready to expound on and on about the dangers of the organism. When I asked more pointed questions about the history of its acquisition, I was given curt responses that had a way of circling back to vague warnings. Ooh, I found some cashews. Looks edible. Grandpa might like this. Yeah. Cashews sound good. Of course they do. Cashews are great. I would go get myself some cashews right now if I could. Okay. All clean. This place will not be okay. Linguistics module. Oh. Teach Grandpa this word to read the notes of past educators. I want to know how this shit keeps getting dirty every week. Are other people coming down here? No, I'm not Grandpa. Alright. All clean. You remove the taped down fabric to reveal the cabinet's wooden bottom. Notation regarding sample exoskeletons. Research participants, please take note. Each growth from a cycle does not require a shell, but you may find the sample will often try and seize on something somewhat flexible it can grow into, along with any desirous yield it may generate. Hold on. What is this desirous yield? Or else it will move from one shell to the next as it outgrows them. In the small amount of time I have spent with it in preparation, I have noticed it tends towards human forms. However, we should keep a tight lid on the anthropoidic seal in order to be cautious before we begin to experiment with exposing it long-term to anthropoid stimuli. Dr. Hart. Note regarding cleanup procedures. To my colleagues, I don't mean to be overly severe in tone, but Dr. Hart's work is very important, and the material we are working with is potentially very dangerous. I will be handing out a copy of this note as a reminder to everyone. I am not trying to single any particular person out. We all have misconceptions about the nature of this project from time to time. With that out of the way, here are some things to keep in mind. 1. The active growth must be thoroughly terminated via the correct procedure at the very least every 4 weeks, or 4 weeks after dormancy is interrupted. Okay. It doesn't matter what you've done or haven't done regarding tests or procedures or how much the after 4 weeks? What happens after 4 weeks? How much the anthropoidic vacuum has been disrupted, we are not ready to go beyond 4 weeks at this point. A step-by-step guide to the termination has been posted by the enclosure wall. Please, please, please do not place the educational posters over this posting. 2. Do not disrupt the anthropoidic vacuum without Dr. Hart's prior consultation and approval. In case of emergency where the vacuum is disrupted, put on your equipment and begin the lockdown procedure. Make an extensive note of when and how the breach occurred. 3. If you find the habitat empty, page Dr. Hart immediately, but do not attempt to speak with anyone else. This thing can get very smart. I'm sure you are all well aware of the stories we heard on our acquisition trip. The greatest caution should be used when dealing with a potential aggressive mimicry scenario. Please seek me out if you have any more questions. William. Well, shit, I think, yeah, I think we're gonna be in trouble if he gets to his final form. I don't know what week 4's gonna be giving us, but what's this? Alright, let's save. We gotta feed him. Alright, prepare food. I don't have any unappealing items, so we're just gonna do... Oh man, what happened to my cashews? Alright, I guess that's it. Oh, they're all here. Oh, it's in my bag. Alright, let's go to Grandpa. You examine Grandpa, noting its movements, respiration, and general mood. Grandpa seems sort of sluggish and bored. You get the feeling it may be more content and readily cooperative once fed and taught a word or two. Would you like to view the tutorial before you start? Oh, shoot. Fine. This brief tutorial will go over the basics of feeding Grandpa via induction of your unprotected insula. What? Grandpa has simulated the production of tooth enamel to mimic a human mouth. It will need to be fed through this in order to properly learn and grow. First, you will need to select an item from the lunchbox. Click on the lunchbox in the bottom right corner. The contents of the lunchbox will be displayed. Select an item from the lunchbox. Doing so will fill your hand with this item. Note that any food can be put back into the lunchbox by clicking it. Before Grandpa can be fed, it must judge the food by smell. However, hover your hand over Grandpa's olfactory bulbs. If Grandpa is pleased, it will allow you to feed it. Most foods Grandpa will accept. However, getting Grandpa to consume other things requires some culinary deception. When Grandpa is willing to be fed, hover your hand over its mouth and click. Grandpa will then consume the food. Good luck on feeding Grandpa. Oh boy. You approach the small window. Shit. What is that? Click on Grandpa's nostrils, left of its mouth. What? If Grandpa is enticed by the smell... Oh boy. To the left of it? This is his nostrils? Oh my god. Alright, let's try the banana. I don't know. Advertisement, You guys, I don't see no nostrils. Grandpa seems indifferent to the smell. What? It's going so fast! Alright, well, I fed him. The meal appears to have been sufficient. Alright, it's sufficient. Let's get out of here. You step away from the window to set in the bars. Grandpa grunts in appreciation and locomotes towards its favorite corner. Alright, did I... Oh. I gotta feed him something else. Alright, he wants something else. Let's give him a banana. Grandpa seems indifferent to the smell, but we'll eat it. Okay. The meal appears to have been sufficient. Okay, so we fed him. We're good. Now we have to teach him 2 words. Vocabulary card Grandpa. Would you like to view the tutorial? Oh, fine. Oh my god. Okay. Example. This brief tutorial will go over teaching Grandpa pronunciation and vocalization. The vocabulary word you picked will appear in the top left corner. In the bottom right corner will be a pentagon that is divided up into 8 sections. A section of the pentagon will be highlighted briefly. A notification sound will play, and soon another section will be highlighted. It will control a small amount or salt. Alright, are we basically playing Simon? The ball is constrained to the limits of the pentagon. The goal is to keep your icon over the highlighted area and move it as the area changes sections around the pentagon. When you hold left click above the correct highlighted area, the icon will start to vibrate along with the simulated vocal cords, and this is so fucking weird, you guys. And the current or letter of your word will begin to turn red. Keep holding over the highlighted section and adjust your icon as it changes place. Soon the letter will become fully red. After every letter becomes red, Grandpa will proudly pronounce the word to you, and it will be considered learned. Teaching Grandpa these words will accelerate its cognitive development and lead to further breakthroughs in general intelligence. Ah, boy. You approach the small window set with the Grandpa block. This is... Deep within Grandpa, strange membranes foamate confidently. Having completed the lesson, you take a look at the back of the vocabulary module card and the notes there written by administrators of the past. Grandpa, part of vocabulary and vocalization module E81 family. General pronunciation comments. Usual trouble with articulation, voice thin, raspy, possibly underdeveloped larynx. Module comments, see below. We have done several sessions of what we are calling familial relation simulation. I and a co-researcher sit in chairs opposite the enclosure. We are wearing the usual masks, and we begin to act out a scene, mostly through improvisation, that might roughly resemble a kitchen table conversation between an immediate family. Repeated trials would reveal, although our simulated conversation was purposefully vague and unspecific regarding persons and identities, we would only address each other as brother, father, sister, etc., it soon became apparent the encoded information and associations we unconsciously drawn upon when hearing and speaking these words was being picked up on by Whiskers and its psi-type field of reception, interpretation of brain-mind events, semantic content. Okay, that's a lot. My co-researcher, William, noticed this is in a simulation where Whiskers was given a role as a sister, and he is a brother. I was the father. Whiskers began responding to certain prompts with unusual specificity, as well as a general pattern and timbre of speech that continued with unusual consistency. As soon as the simulation ended and we left the enclosure area, William let me know that Whiskers was almost certainly drawing from encoded memories of his late sister. What? Mapping out exactly what regions and centers of neural activity are intercepted by the psi-type field will take extensive neuroimaging that we do not have at this site. Currently, we only have less precise portable equipment. However, our experiences so far are airily in line with folk knowledge and folk explanations regarding the being's access to desires, and we can begin to infer it has access to certain portions of the limbic system and the ventral temporal cortex. Please. Oh my god. Please tell me nobody tried to sex this thing. They keep talking about, like, desires and libido and shit. What is going on? Yeah, I guess? I don't know. You step away from... No, oh god, no. DeBrell, no. You step away from the bars and store the module card at the document table. Alright, I need to find another card. Let's go to study corner. Oh, you're right. Okay. Okay, so I don't know. I haven't found any more cards. I don't see anything here. Alright. Is there just something in here? I'm pretty sure they have. But I wonder if Whiskers is like absorbing them into himself and he's taking over their memories? Maybe? Alright, let's go to help. Shit, I don't want to read this again. Alright, here we go. Pick up, it's a good idea to learn about them. Okay. Alright. Oh, good luck. Okay. Well, let's save. Alright, let's go to Grandpa. Oh, we have to teach Grandpa. Well, yeah, I know, but, you examine Grandpa, noting its movements, respiration, and general mood. Grandpa seems sort of sluggish and bored. You get the feeling it may be more contented, readily cooperative once fed and taught a word or two. Yeah, I did teach it the first word. Grandpa. Remember I was doing that puzzle thing? See, I have no more words. No new vocabulary words. Can I feed him glue? Generic. I did, and look, I go back and I taught him 1 or 2 words. Find vocabulary cards, help Grandpa speak. Explore the basement. Okay. Oh, I gotta go looking. Okay. Yeah, because I taught him Grandpa, so I gotta go find another card. Oh, what's this? Corroded battery. This isn't really food. Grandpa might eat it. Oh my god, I'm gonna feed him corroded batteries. Oh my god. Linguistic module. Hello. Teach Grandpa this word to read the notes of past educators. Okay. And everything? Did I get everything? No. And clean it up. I guess that was everything. Alright. Bulbous growth. Something appears to be growing from the wall. Let me take a closer look. A pulsating sac. The slimy membrane that is its skin seems to contain something. Might be able to be opened with a blade. I don't have a blade. Oh, we're busting up and open that bulbous growth. We are, totally. Okay, we need a light to get there. Examine, slouching under the weight of the rot and refuse. How come I like all these weird-ass games, you guys? Like, this shit that's so strange, like, gross. I get, like, morbidly interested. All clean. Okay, what is this? Blueberries. It looks edible. Grandpa might like this. Okay. Corroded batteries. What's this? An account of an acquisition. Before we began, he had us all cover our faces completely. An earthenware pot was illegible, and on the inside, as we stole brief glances at it, we could see the interior was inlaid with mirrors. The illegible gave it small pieces of dough, spoiled food, chicken feed, illegible, keeping it content. The keeper gestured towards the small bag where the food composted and told us to be careful not to feed it any meat. I asked if the rotting food was enough to sustain it, how it might get nutrients from any of this. The keeper regarded me seriously and said it did not matter what it was fed. The act of feeding itself was what mattered. The act of feeding flesh is another act, however. He then gave me another series of grave warnings regarding not keeping any animal-derived foods near where I might be keeping it. Uh-oh. So yeah, French fries are fine. No chicken wings. Okay. Oh. A key. 1951. Safety. I need to find a key. Okay. Something about that painting looks strange. A folder full of radiographic images. You can examine this in detail. Okay, later in the study corner. No chicken wings for me today, unfortunately. Actually, the husband can't eat anything today because he's got a procedure tomorrow, so I'm trying to keep the, food footprint rather low today, so I'm not driving him crazy with the smells. What is this? Fiberglass insulation. This isn't really food. Grandpa might eat it, however. Well, just another, yeah, just a test, though, just to see what's going on with something. Ooh, the waste here smells particularly strong. What's this? A simple paper doll. This might be useful in the construction of magic symbols. What? Okay, I got a lot of stuff to feed him. All right, let's see here. Yes, that's. Yeah, he's not happy camper today. Okay, so I think we searched everything. Get another nay. Another why? The hairy thing that was here before is gone. Yeah, because I'm pretty sure it's Grandpa. Okay, so let's... actually, I want to see what these images are. You slip the radiographic images you found onto the machine's display. Propagation. Number 21. Day 19 after dormancy. Yeah, the vacuum broken. Yes. Term at 21 days. Notes in detail. Intriguing results with regard to mimic hypothesis. A participant entered a sealed chamber adjacent to Whisker's growth cycle number 21, which had been freed from the anthropoidic vacuum, constructed quite economically from plastic and broken mirrors. The first propagation's original earthenware vacuum was shattered during the movement. Between the two, there was a semi-opaque glass panel that allowed observation both ways. The human participant was asked to think of someone in the popular consciousness, fictional or no, and cogitate on their image, personality, face if possible, voice if possible, etc. Our participant chose Jesus of Nazareth, and with weekly repeated exposures to the participant's imaginings, propagation number 21 began forming what resembled an anthropoid Nazarene in the fold of its spine. Previous human-oriented tests have always bore out a result that Whiskers would form an anthropoid team member, be it me or Dr. Hart or Gerald, and we assumed it was merely mimicking one of us. Dr. Hart has always contended the desirous yield, or the anthropoid reproduction Whiskers creates, when in contact with human beings, has always been based on the conception in relation to the person through someone else. With this framework, the desirous yield is not actually a replica of a person, or if it is only a replica of the fiction of a person generated in the mind of another. Oh boy, propagation 2. We have taken to calling it whiskers, though of course some have interpreted it as hair or needles or quills, but whiskers is more accurate, as the needles are really more like suprasensory follicles or spines. The nerve gets distributed throughout the morphology of these spines resemble the nerve nets distributed throughout the morphology of these spines resemble those of genus Hydra, but have myelin sheets that are functionally the same as vertebrae. As we can see in the X-ray, each spine is laden with dense optical arrangements similar to compound eyes. This is getting very technical. The Hydra connection is assuredly worth investigating with regard to the organism's capacity for regeneration and anecdotal deathlessness. It certainly is a robust enough creature to inspire marvel that is not unhinged with fear. Exposure to mammalian forms, part of a series of zoomorphic influences, led to further understanding of the propagation's ability to simulate the somatic stem cells that constitute fully developed animals. I write simulate in the previous statement because examining the tissue of each propagation leads me to believe its amazing capacity for accelerated growth of vastly different forms comes from its cell-level mutability. And yet at no time does it function as the thing it becomes, except in the sense that it mimics it. That is to say, when Whiskers is removed from dormancy and replicates a rabbit's morphology, it is not seeing from the rabbit's eyes nor smelling from the rabbit's nose, but pretending that it does, and doing a very good job of it. So, it's, doppelganger. This radiograph was taken at or around growth cycle number 4. The strange thing about it was that the subject of the image was found nowhere near the enclosure. It's almost like a piece of Whiskers fell off and scurried into the room. I feel like we've learned a lot since then, but at the time, I remember speaking about the morphology being weird, not really even resembling any extant zoomorphic structure, besides maybe a cuttlefish, and I happened to open the thing up. Inside were all these little dead amoeba-like things. They all sort of looked like they had faces that were just barely there. After I took the radiograph, I gathered it up and went to go through it in the biohazard bin. As I walked by the bars in the enclosure, I could hear Whiskers suddenly going wild, flopping around and grunting excitedly. Would it have smelled the cuttlefish thing? Would it eat its own production? I guess it's technically flesh. This is beyond the scope of the project, but it could be that without the stimulus of an active brain, or more specifically, a healthy and active brain capable of face recognition and theory of mind, Whiskers begins to pull whatever it can from the limited data available to it. So, it basically, the reason why they're wearing the mirrors and stuff, because if it actually sees people, like human, like anything that's flesh-like, it wants to eat it, clearly. So that's why everything has, oh no. Wait, this little girl, Adrian, is not wearing mirrors. Uh-oh. Again, this is not our focus at this time, but I left a note for Dr. Hart just in case he wanted to take a look. Alright, so that was the last one. Okay. Well, let's go talk to Grandpa again. We're gonna go feed him we're gonna go teach him another word. Okay. within Grandpa's strange membranes phonate conflict. Having completed the lesson, you take a look at the back of the vocabulary module card and the notes they are written by administrators of the past. Hello, part of vocabulary and vocalization module A2 conversational basics. General pronunciation comments, sloppy articulation. Module comments, see below. We are already encountering some difficulty as Whisker's subjectivity is so much determined by a diverse and dynamic array of influences. It attempts to mimic the thoughts and desires it passively intercepts, and these imitations go on to structure the basis of its identity. Oh shit. Who is this? Maybe that too? Why do I keep getting these calls from Chicago? I don't know. Only later in Whisker's growth cycle does it begin to form an identity or identities that are coherent and capable of resembling a sane, rational human being when engaged in conversation. One must imagine how hard it would be to converse with someone who is not yet oriented in one particular way towards who or how they are, because they might have 20 different honest answers to those questions, all of them mixed and muddled together. Because of this, we have started with the basics of conversation, greetings, partings, identifying one another, forming questions, etc., etc. It is fortunate Whisker's current growth, number 19, I believe, has developed a mostly accurate human mouth simulation. Hello was a bit of a challenge in the previous growth, as it had failed to develop an adequate organ to act as a human tongue. Step away from the bars and store the module card. Okay. Well, I think it's that too. But clearly, I think it wants... There's something where you can't have anything fleshy around. Like, if you feed it meat, it's bad. I don't know. I think it wants to eat. I wonder if this is like a doppelganger or something. And they caught it. And it eats people. I don't know. Okay, we did the two things. So explore the basement. Save. Okay, so I guess we can end the week, right? Alright. Alright, we'll go through one more week and then we'll call it. Maybe tomorrow if I have time. You know, if we don't get back too late from his procedure, I'll finish this up. Because this is... I don't know, but this game is kind of... Food acquired. Lettuce, banana, cashews, batteries, blueberries, fiberglass insulation. Okay. Knowledge you acquired this week has given you access to a new conversation topic to discuss with Grandpa. Ooh, you've gained the conversation topic language. Oh, we're at week 3. Shit, I think there's only 4 weeks. So something about having to kill it before week 4. Mrs. Richards approached me the other day in order to remark on Adrian's development. She noted how much more at ease she appeared when called upon in class, or when asked to participate in group exercises. I told her I had seen this change happening as well, and that as much as I would like to take credit for it, I can only guess dimly at what might be reshaping her attitude. Mrs. Richards posited that it was perhaps Adrian's family moving into their grandfather's property that caused the change. Apparently is out in the country, in a wooded area full of wide open space and far from the bustle and noise of the city. The grandfather, Dr. Jacob Hart, had jointly purchased the land with the university he was employed with and began constructing what he was intending to be a satellite campus for a burgeoning psychological anthropology program he had a hand in establishing. Only one building ever ended up being constructed after Dr. Hart died in a car accident when driving back from the property one day. Eerily, at almost at the exact same time, a grad student who was assisting Dr. Hart on some sort of project at the property vanished without a trace. The property sat in disuse for years as it was tied up in legal battles between Dr. Hart's next of kin, the university, the vanished grad student's family, and the other students Dr. Hart was working with. Well, I don't think they fought over it. Eventually, the case was settled out of court. Only recently did the property fall into the possession of Adrian's mother. Obviously, I was not going to relay this whole tragic story to Adrian, who, for all I know, believes her grandpa is still be living in the basement of this home. Besides, I thought she might already know all of this. Perhaps the elaborate story she was constructing was her own way of escaping the morbid details of a life, or perhaps lives cut short by the cruel force of fate and the cynical adults who squabbled in the aftermath. I determined perhaps the storytelling she was and continues to engage in should not be encouraged by me, at least not in the way I went about it before, where I made active inquiries into her strange fantasy of a semi-sentient ball of skin. When I saw Adrian, I did not bring up her grandpa or ask questions about his growth. Adrian could not stop talking about it, however. I had no choice but to weather her bizarre and enthusiastic effusions about her new best friend. Adrian, maybe we can talk about something else. I'm not sure I'm following you exactly. He's gotten so big. He has so many whiskers that come out, and I can see them moving around when I think about him. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm so happy Grandpa is back. He's so much cooler than Mom and Dad. Once again, for what it's worth, I have put down the story she told me as best as I could. Adrian once again told me about growing her grandpa. Everything is gone. When am I gonna get a light? Yeah, how is there more and more trash here? Wouldn't if nobody else is coming down here? You know what? I totally believe that they're like not gonna believe this. Listen, nobody's gonna believe this kid. What is this? Ooh, kiwi. It looks edible. Grandpa might like this. Do I still have stuff in my bag? Ooh, I still have the blueberries and the battery and the fiberglass installation. Alright. Ooh, bulbous growth. Is it still big? Seems... Okay, I still need something. I don't think I have anything. Alright, let's see. I know, childhood. I'm not gonna lie though, the house that I lived in when I was little, like 8 and 9, whatever years old, it had a creepy ass basement like this. I guess that's it. Oh, that looks like a face. Yeah, it was an old house. It actually used to be the mayor's house. Because it was a very fancy house. I don't even know how my mom ended up buying it. But, and it actually had a coal chute in the basement and everything. I mean, it was old. Alright, I'll clean. What? These look like faces. They do. And I still need this key. Alright, we already saw the bulbous growth. Nothing else here. Linguistics mode life. Potato, it looks edible. Grandpa might like this. Alright. Oh, there's more shit in these cabinets. feel like we can find something else in here. Nope, I guess not. Hey, there's nothing in here. Nothing else. No more educational posters. This is all the same. Okay, let's go to the kitchen corner. Oh, we gotta feed him 3 acceptable things. Okay, well, let's look at the fridge. Oh, it's edible. Grandpa might like this. A pear. Ooh, and a strawberry. Alright. Let's prepare soft fruit or vegetable. We'll do a pear, unappealing item. We'll give him some battery. Conceal. The battery is concealed in soft pear flesh. Let's see, potato. Alright. I don't have anything else. Oh, I guess it's already prepared. Alright, let's go. Alright, so let's observe. You examine Grandpa, noting its movements, respiration, and general mood. Grandpa's gums are bleeding slightly, and its skin seems overly dry. It may need a food packed with vitamin C. Kiwi fruit would be an excellent remedy. Alright, let's teach Grandpa. Card of life. You approach the small window seat. Yeah. There you go. Deep within Grandpa's strange membranes, phonate. Having completed the lesson, you take a look at the back of the vocabulary. Life, part of vocabulary and vocalization module P29. Concept formation. General pronunciation comments, none. Module comments, see below. At week 3 of growth number 24, Whiskers appeared to recall some information from a previous growth cycle. We cannot be sure that this was really the case. For all we know, what we interpreted as it recollecting this information was really it drawing semantic content from one of our recollections of it and redeploying it without rationality or contextualization. For the sake of our safety and for the sake of scientific inquiry, we are attempting to draw out from Whiskers whether it somehow retains knowledge from previous cycles in its morpholactic nucleus. We did not think it was possible the nucleus, though complex and incredible in its regenerative abilities, was capable of this, and that the nerve network that grew from it made up the base of Whiskers' mind, and so we are now attempting to ask Whiskers as best we can if it has ever died, or what it might remember of it, if it did. Okay. Alright, so Grandpa, we're gonna feed Grandpa. So he needs a kiwi. So, alright, we're gonna give him a kiwi, because we gotta feed him 3 things. Grandpa seems indifferent to this moment. Okay. Appears to have been sufficient. Alright. I'm gonna feel the concealed battery. Grandpa is unable to detect the unappealing item. Oh boy. Although quickly consumed, the meal seems to be causing some indigestion. With a sudden lurch, Grandpa empties its stomach onto the floor. Contents pool together in front of the cage. Okay, we're just gonna do a strawberry. Let's give him some lettuce. By its neural reaction, I can't remember. Let's read how fast it was. This will sate its hunger, but that is all. Okay. The meal appears to have been sufficient. Alright, was that enough? Step away from the window set in the bars, and Grandpa silently slides back to its corner. Oh, I have to give it acceptable foods. Dang it. Alright. Alright, strawberry. This will satiate hunger, but that as well. Okay. Why do you want me to give it the next week? The meal appears to have insufficient. Okay. God, why are you so mean, BB10? Alright. Grandpa grunts in appreciation and locomotes towards its favorite. Alright, so we're gonna examine stomach contents. There's a key, still somewhat wet. This might help you explore more of the basement. Yes! Yes! Alright, we get to explore. Okay, so we're gonna, observe. Examine Grandpa, blah, blah, blah. Grandpa appears content and ready to cooperate. Okay, let's communicate. Grandpa accedes to your request. It approaches the bars and begins to unknit its skin. The inner Grandpa, though still not fully formed, is revealed. It may be fruitful to speak with it, if it can respond. What is happening? Oh my god. Ask about wish. Grandpa still struggles somewhat to speak due to its underdeveloped tongue, mouth, and jaw. However, it manages to rasp out an answer. Hunger is not enough. On the walls of the cave, the auroch can. Oh my god. Hunger transformed. Desire is fulfilled by pain. Oh my god. Your grandpa doesn't have the right words. Right now, I can only say, I love you. Love is not enough, though. Desire is not enough. Project it outwards. Make it true to yourself, if only in symbol. Then it will be enough. For me and for you. I do. Ask about Grandpa's shell. Grandpa still struggles somewhat to speak due to its under blah blah blah. Okay. Something to grow in. My skin is not the doll skin. My skin is not like your skin either. I can still feel your eyes on me inside my shell. I have many eyes to see, but I don't need them as much as I need your eyes, with which I can understand as seeing me. There is a cycle of attention. You give me myself by it, but I am still not that. Slowly I form a human shape, and you see me more as human, and I become that. Alright, this is all very weird. Okay. They kept putting me in a box, sleeping, and then set a light, and then in a box in the corner in the darkness. Most of you couldn't read then. The scribe came and wrote what everyone said. They wrote on strips of bark with thin reeds. No, it was not that. It was a paper posted somewhere. It had words to open the box. I was half dead in the box. The part of me that dies was put there for a long time. That part of me and other things they threw in, a refuse pile, papers they discarded. Grandpa is old. My lives were easier before I made myself to speak, and before you made clothes to wear and rules to obey. Oh. Your grandpa remembers. I have learned much in many lives and deaths. Keep speaking with me. I love talking with you and learning from you, and it helps your grandpa so much. Soon I will be everything you would like me to be. Grandpa silently ascends back into this shell. Wait, why am I feeling sorry for this? Right, Knapral? Why do I feel sorry for this thing? Oh my god. Okay, so we need to find another word. Alright, bottom 4. Here we go. You try the safe's lock with the key you found, and it pops open. A photo of your mother as a young woman. Recognition of this face kicks off a cascade of emotion and meaning deep within your psyche. That's the only thing I can look at. I can look? I don't know where else to look. I need to find another word. Yeah, that's a good question. Wait, what? I know, I did search everywhere. Oh, I must not have searched here. Okay. Here we go. Indecision. Okay, got that. Alright. Okay, so I really need to find something to... I wonder if... No, I don't have it. He does. He'll kill you with his love. Shit. I don't know. Alright, so... Grandpa... Trying to teach the word. Oh, this seems harder. I feel like this thing is ancient. Alright, deep within Grandpa's strange membranes phonate confidently. Having completed lesson, you take a look at the back of the vocabulary. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Indecision, part of vocabulary and vocalization module F223, theory of mind. General pronunciation comments, articulation problems, possible trouble with diphthongs. Module comments, see below. We are introducing the latest growth of whiskers to more subtle social cues and testing its ability to judge mental states of participants in conversation. The semantic content that flows to whiskers via its psi field is still becoming muddled and slipped without distinction into conversation, although our intention of instilling in it a solid theory of mind will perhaps make it begin to understand that we do not know what it knows, or know what we are, without our control sending to it. One would think a theory of mind seems to develop as part of its maturation process. In order to hunt sapient beings, it must be able to deceive them. In order to deceive, it must be able to make certain metacognitive judgments. For example, if their deception appears to be working, or how one ought to be deceived. We may never see it develop a theory of mind anytime soon, as Dr. Hart has disallowed a cycle of whiskers growth to live into the beginnings of maturity. Uh-oh. I think we're going to see maturity. All right, so I think we did it all, right? Grandpa's stomach emptied, explored. Yeah, stunned. Okay, we're gonna end the week. I mean, we got. Well, I'm assuming it's only one more week, so let's finish this. Vocabulary life. Okay. Well, they did say you should not, you absolutely do not let it go past 4 weeks. So what's that happens after this week? The time I have to spend compiling an evaluation on Adrienne is almost up, and I still can't say what to make of her changes in mood. It is, of course, the case that children... Hold on a second. What if Grandpa takes on Adrienne and then leaves? Oh, okay. I just had that thought. I still can't say what to make of her changes in mood. It is, of course, the case that children of Adrian's age are nowhere near finished learning and growing. I may have to simply be happy that Adrian was able to improve her attitude. However, something in the odd and occasionally grotesque stories she continues to bring up to me still strikes me as meaningful. How has your week been, Adrian? Grandpa is almost ready. He's almost finished. Well, sort of. He's almost as big as his shell now. He has a face and he can talk pretty well and almost has legs. I see. As before, I have put down the story she told me as best as I could. Once again, Adrian told me about growing your grandpa. Maybe. Julie, why could be on top of me stomach yet? Alright, so let's look. Oh, Chewy, no! Oh my god, he's right on my chest. And now he's in front of my face. Yeah. Alright. Oh, I can't even see, Chewy. You don't care. Alright, I gotta move you guys up. I can't see chat with his buttons in the way. Alright. What's this? Bar soap. This isn't really food. Grandpa might eat it, however. Okay. So. It's still growing. It seems like it could be easily opened. Okay, I know, but I don't have a sharp edge, so. And I need to find a light for this corner. I'm betting there's more than one ending to this game. Oh, Chewy. And then he won't stop, like, wriggling around on me. Okay, stop. Try Chewy's fang. Maybe. Linguistic module meaning. Okay. Get out of here. Get out of here. Stupid things. Nothing else. I guess there's nothing here except for these. They look like faces. Wait, there's a bulbous growth over here? There wasn't a bulbous growth here before. Yet another pulsating sac grows in this corner of the basement. Seems like it could be easily opened with a sharp edge. Oh boy. Mushroom. It looks edible. Grandpa might like this. Symbol. Okay. Don't you be whipping your tail at me. Okay, I'm not gonna boot your butt down. Did I get everything? There we go. So I'm guessing the bulbous growths are just going everywhere now. Because I think there's 3 of them. I don't think there's anything here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna worry. We'll be fine. Grandpa loves me. It's fine. Alright, so let's go to study corner. Search these cabinets. We did find like that paper doll or something. I don't know. I feel like there's really nothing more in these cabinets here. I think I'm just wasting my time with these. Yeah, okay. Possible. Alright, so let's go to the kitchen corner. Oh, an apple. Okay. Jackfruit. It looks edible. Hold on a second. So, we fed Grandpa that one... What was it? I don't know. It was bad food. The battery. And he threw up, and he threw up a key. What if we feed him something else and he throws up a knife? Like, what if that's the stuff people had on them when he ate them? Yeah, the corroded battery. Oh, man. All right, let's prepare food. Apple. The soap is concealed in soft apple flesh. I have nothing else. Okay. So, go to Grandpa. You examine Grandpa, noting its movements, respiration, and general mood. Grandpa seems fatigued and almost anemic. Some of its spines appear brittle. Perhaps it would be more cooperative if fed an iron-rich meal like meat. I have no meat! Oh, shit. Okay, let's communicate. No response. Alright, well, let's, yeah, let's feed him the insulation. Okay, he'll accept it for feeding. Although quickly consumed, the meal seems to be causing some indigestion. And with a sudden lurch, Grandpa empties its stomach onto the floor. The contents are deposited into the pool of Grandpa's previous expulsion. Alright, let's check it out. It dejectedly locomotes back to its favorite corner. Okay, so I skipped that. Okay. I just want to see what's on the floor here. I can't. How do I examine stomach contents? Aha! I was right, scissors. This might help you explore more of the basement. Okay, we're going back. Carefully make an incision into the growth with your scissors. It's now possible to take a look inside. Peer into the small opening created by your incision. In the oily cavity, a powerful smell of rot arises, and many small increate beings lay motionless and dead. However, you just barely hear the near silent slithering of something, or maybe it is just your imagination. Oh my god, no! What are we doing? Oh shit. I gotta find what I can't. What's going on here? All clean. This. Oh my god. Anthropoid Remnant 1, a self-sufficient animal form knit together from years of ambient thoughts left to crawl around the basement. Grandpa may enjoy the flesh. Oh no. Okay, we got it. Little friends? Oh my god. It's now possible to take a look inside. Okay. You peer into the small opening created by your incision. Alright, same thing. However, you just barely hear. Blah, blah, blah. Alright. Whoever came up with the idea for this game, yeah. Oh my god. Anthropoid Remnant 2, a self-sufficient animal form knit together from years, blah, blah, blah. They are not chicken wings. Stop it. I think there was another one here, right? I thought there was a one over here somewhere. I feel like Grandpa's just... He's gonna... Oh. Flatbread. I must have gotten all the foods, because I got an achievement. It looks edible. Grandpa might like this. Yeah, here's a bulbous. What? No, near the cabinet. Okay. The key? The key was to that cabinet. There was a box in there, and I pulled out the picture of Adrian's mom. Oh man. Yeah, it was like a safe. Hold on, let me look again. It was the bottom drawer, and this was the safe. That was it. Yeah. Alright. Alright, well first we're gonna save. And then we're going to... Let's give him, what do I have here? Concealed soap. Let's see what happens. Alright, I'll just give that to him anyways. I will, I just want to see if he gets, he throws anything else up we can use. Maybe a flashlight. Grandpa empties his stomach onto the floor. The contents are deposited, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Grandpa makes a plaintive whine, clearly disappointed at the lack of sustenance. Don't worry. It dejectedly moves back. Okay, so we are going to check. Aha! Alright, we're going to get into that corner. Alright, older model flashlight still functioning. Back. Waste bin. There's that code! Okay, we're gonna get the number. Okay, so we had 3, 2, 3, 2, 4, 5. The lid unlocks, and with some effort, you move the heavy lid off the bin. Photo of your father as a young man. Recognition of this face kicks off a cascade of emotion and meaning deep within your psyche. Well, I don't want to finish up the day. I want to see if there's other stuff we can find. A classic of alchemy. Alright. On the virtue of the prudent when dealing with devils, seen or unseen. The splendors and terrors of God's creations inhabit the world of both the seen and unseen. And just as one will not grapple with a lion lest they be a fool, one will not approach a being of the mind or ether without foreknowledge thereof. There are beings with no form hiding between towering columns of air, and only appearing
by slipping into the heart or mind of evil and unclean men. But still are there more beings which straddle the realm between the seen and the unseen creatures, feeling through the air to see the heart or mind of men. It is only by God's grace and his angels and servants crushing these beings under heel that a magician might compel them to the magician's will. And so a magician must be perfectly clear and unerring in intent and ritual granted to us by God, or else the devils, seen or unseen, will devour them, that being their nature. What is this? On the nourishing of devils of a particular type. Certain devils of a particular nature are nourished by the element of fire, others by attention and prayer given to their idols, still others by stranger and more obscure means. By God's grace, the requirement for nourishing a devil as part of a contract only requires a token of these givings, that is, a symbol. Okay, didn't we have a word, a symbol? If a devil hungers after flesh and would strip a man to his bones in its devouring, the devil's hunger and nature, which thirsts for flesh, can be held in abeyance in the ritual act of giving blood in only a few drops. However, the contract must be completed in full, for if the magician errs and does not provide in the devil instruction and guidance, the devil, once abjured to do no harm upon the magician, will return to its devouring nature. So are they saying this thing is a devil? I don't know. Oh, it's another of those paper dolls. This might be useful in the construction of magic symbols. I have a feeling I'm just going to end up dying. I am! I haven't done everything I needed to do up to this point, I'm pretty sure. Where do you look there? Alright, so let's feed them. Oh, I'll teach them some vocabulary words. Let's see. Alright, meaning. Deep within Grandpa, strange membranes foamate infinitely. Having completed the lesson, you take a look at the back of blah, blah, blah. Okay. Meaning, part of a vocabulary and vocalization module, J11, metacognition, higher thought. General pronunciations, comments none. Okay, we further delve into abstraction with whiskers, partially, or perhaps for the most part, for the purpose of determining the origin of its recollections that precede its death. Dr. Hart has begun to theorize that in the process of death, the structure of whiskers is compressed back into the morpholactic nucleus, and then later, upon reestablishing the nerve netting that is laced through its spines, is slowly reassembled and redeployed as needed. I do not think this is the case, for I can plainly see that for growth cycles in which whiskers is not receiving our pronunciation and vocabulary lessons, that its capacity general for comprehension or comprehending its environment is greatly diminished. And in the simulated conversations we carry out, Whiskers struggles greatly or else does not participate. In any case, we will press on with our lessons and heed Dr. Hart's caution regarding terminating the growth cycle before Whisker's allotted growth time passes, or if it appears to be becoming just a little too competent at appearing human. Alright, meaning, part of vocabulary, blah, blah, blah. There is nothing, module comments, there appears to be nothing written here Or if there was, it was thoroughly erased.
Alright, so let's feed him. Alright. What are we giving him this time? We're gonna give him the meats. He needs meat. Grandpa seems excited by the flesh smell, and it's something... does something, I don't know. Something in a frenzy.
The meal appears to have been particularly well received. Your offering of flesh stirs something within Grandpa. From within the folds of its body, a wiry, proboscis-like appendage begins to emerge. Oh no! It may be worth taking a look at this after the feeding. Knowledge you have recently acquired has given you access to a new conversation topic to discuss with Grandpa.
Proboscis. Alright, let's talk to him, actually. Let's talk to him before he eats me.
Grandpa grunts in appreciation and locomotes towards its favorite. Let's see. You examine Grandpa, blah, blah, blah. Grandpa appears content and ready to cooperate. Grandpa accedes to your request. It approaches the bars and begins to unknit its skin. The inner Grandpa, though still not fully formed, is revealed. It may be fruitful to speak with it if it can respond. I wonder if it's any different. Oh my god, look at its face! Grandpa loudly clears its throat before gently responding in a lucid, well-projected voice. You're asking about your wish. You're asking me about your wish. When you wished for me to come back, that's when I knew I would. Your desperation was strong, and your wish for your parents, well, if you give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. You know I love you. I am for you whatever you want, and I love you just as much as you love me. But desperation and love is not enough. People deep down know they can't get what they wish for without some transformation. There is something that sits at the root of everyone's soul that understands the separation between them and eternity. You may desire something, but you know you will not get it without some movement on your part. So it is not enough to just wish, which you know will not work. You must wish and a little more to transform your intention into something that might fructify, or for desire to become reality. God. Okay. Here we go. We're gonna act. Hopefully you can understand this stuff now. You're asking me about my shell. Oh, well, you see, I like to have something to grow in, something shaped like a person. It just helps to have something surrounding me when I don't have skin. My whiskers do the growing. My whiskers? Yes, you know, the hairy little things. I am a part of it, and it is a part of me. However, my whiskers are what heard you wishing for me to come back, and so they went to work in the shell you provided. The shell also helps you envision me as what you desire. You have such a nice imagination. If I weren't in my shell, you'd have my whiskers exposed and knitting together my face. That might interrupt the feedback loop of my reading your desires. And then acting upon the desires I have read, and then, once again, reading your reaction. We wouldn't want that interfered with. The material of the doll you put down is good fit. It's not the most comfortable, but it's quite flexible, and thankfully my shell was able to adjust nicely to my growth.
Yeah, this thing is definitely tricking her. Oh my god.
Grandpa loudly clears its throat before gently responding in a lucid, well-projected voice. You're asking about the medical waste bin. I believe it's locked up. I heard them punch it in the code many times as they placed part of burnt-up dying self into the bin. They often forgot what the code was and had to go check on the wall where they were always taping up sheets upon sheets of information, so much so that the new papers would cover the old. What do you think you would find in there? Well, perhaps something. They did throw trash inside from time to time, bits of paper and so forth. I remember seeing a man who looked quite like me. His daughter had given him a photo of her new boyfriend. He threw it into the bin in disgust and joked with one of his colleagues. It may still be in there for all I know. Grandpa loudly blah blah blah. Ah, you're asking about language. Well, the more you taught me, the more I was able to learn myself by hearing what you were thinking and saying. A week ago, I could speak a little bit, but I was less of what you imagined me to be, and not quite the talker I am at the moment. Part of what I am saying is, of course, made up of what you expect me to say. I think I am very comfortable being open and honest with you because I am your grandpa, and I love you, and certainly that makes up part of what I am. However, there is a part of me deeper down, the thing that created me, maybe, that undying nucleus. It is answering for me as well, and is unaffected by whoever might shape what I become with their thoughts. Little friends. Grandpa loudly cleared its throat before gently responding in a lucid, well-projected voice. Ah, you're asking about my little friends. Well, yes, they come from me. They grow around me in pockets of flesh and protoplasm. Think of them like dreams, maybe. I'll explain. Have you ever had a dream that was sort of like a bunch of people, places, and events you experienced, all mixed up together and jumbled up? Just sorting through and disposing of the refuse of the mind. My little friends are like that, refuse, and in ridding myself of them, I am casting off the excess material I did not use in developing life forms. Anyone who comes close to me, well, they are my eyes, my nose, my skin. Their thoughts become mine and shape what I make. However, when I was alone for so long, I didn't have a lot of people near me. What you are thinking and expecting of me is shaping what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. Do you understand? And so, because I did not have enough input from my surroundings in order to put the material to use, the material falls off my body, crawls away, and usually dies. I am able to make the most of my material when someone is looking right at me, projecting who I will be, like you are now. What you are thinking and expecting of me is shaping what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. Do you understand? Okay. Oh boy. Proboscis. Oh, you're asking of me about my proboscis. It is just a little tube I keep to help me feed on blood. You could say it is my real mouth, but it's not really a mouth. It appeared because you fed me flesh, one of those little friends you found, I think. You feeding me flesh was a symbol, a proposition, if you will, that you wanted to hold up your end of the bargain with regards to your wish. If someone is willing to hold up their end of the bargain and let me feed on them with my proboscis, then they can move on to the next step of the agreement, providing me symbolic instructions. Feed on me, let me feed on them. Yes. I hope that helps clear things up. Oh, you have another question. Do I like the blood? Well, my whiskers, I believe they like the blood and the flesh. It's strange. They are me, and yet they are now me. Or not. I don't know. I am bound to them. They control me, and technically, yes, they did make me. However, you were the one who really grew me. In some ways, those whiskers, they are me, or a part of myself, or I am a part of it. That part is much more animal-like. Whatever might happen, know that I will always love you. And because it controls me, I might not be able to act how I would like, even if I do love you. Oh, shit. This is so weird. Grandpa silently ascends back into its shell. Okay, so we're going to feed him. We're gonna feed. I think should I feed him some more meat? I might as well because I'm pretty much sure I'm gonna die. I bet you there are different endings too. Let's see. Well, I think I'm pretty much gonna die at this point. Oh, it's been sated, but it might be aroused soon. So okay, so he only wants a little bit of flesh. We'll give him the blueberries. Oh, he finds it palatable. Oh. The meal appears to have been sufficient. Okay, no more. We'll do the flatbread. Why? Okay, so anyways. No, I'm not gonna do that yet. Alright, let's see. Grandpa grunts in appreciation and locomotes towards its... Alright, so... let's
let's save game, and then we're gonna end week. I feel like next week is gonna be pretty bad. He does, right? If I love you, but to prove it, I'm going to eat you. Oh boy. What? Who could that be? Come in. Ah, Adrian. Good to see you. Aren't you a little early? No matter. I suppose I have some time now. Uh-oh. How have you been? How is your grandpa doing? That's why I wanted to talk to you. Something happened. Oh? What happened? Nothing bad, I hope. No, nothing bad. Just different, I think. Maybe even good. Well, I'll tell you about it. Well, last night, something woke me up. There was this noise at first. It was like it came from the walls. I could hear it from my bedroom. There was something else. Something calling. I could hear it just barely. I was afraid somehow Grandpa hurt himself. I had to go find out. Oh boy. I went downstairs and the vent, the place where I first found Grandpa, or what I grew with him, it was open. Do you remember how I told you about the vent in the ceiling behind the bars? I was thinking he had climbed up into it. He had gotten so big he could have done that. Maybe he had gotten trapped somehow in the vent. I had to go see. Wait. I got inside. I heard the ceiling again, more clearly this time. Grandpa was definitely in the vents somewhere. I could feel him hearing my thoughts. I got that weird feeling, a sense in the air. I had to go forward. As I moved in closer, the vent had stuff in it. The kind of slimy, hairy stuff Grandpa would leave around a lot. He was definitely close. Alright, ceiling, whatever. Something was there at the end. But it wasn't Grandpa. It looked maybe like he had made it, though. It was slumped in the corner. It had a weird mouth and it had its lungs on the outside and drew in just enough air to call out. And then it just stopped. Stopped breathing. And then something was hanging over me. And then I woke up in my bed. In your bed? Adrian, it sounds like it was just quite a dreadful dream. You all right, by the way? Your face is twitching. You're about to have a violent sneeze. I'm fine. It's just Grandpa, you see. It took me a little while to figure out, but later when I was brushing my teeth, I saw one of Grandpa's whiskers poking, just out of the space under my eye. And I started to remember how in the vent, he hid inside of me. It was so fast I could barely remember, but soon I started to feel him sliding around in my head, behind my forehead, and behind my eyes and nose. It doesn't hurt at all. It's just ticklish. I'm glad I can be with him. Oh, I can feel him now. I think he wants to meet you. Part of him is moving down my arm. Oh! I'm starting to get worried, Adrian. You really should not be twitching like this. I should walk you to the nurse's office. Come on, let's go. You should really meet him. I've told you so much about him. Here. What are you doing? Adrian, you're starting to look very ill. Please, just wait. Just stay still. He's gathering, waiting at my fingertips. Why do you look like that? You don't have to be afraid. Look. Yeah.
wanted to stop. That was it. There were 2 endings in Growing My Grandpa. You got the failure. No, we failed. All right, well, that was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I enjoyed that one. Oh my god, that was weird. Yeah, it's not a shocker, but it's just, I don't know, the whole thing that was out there. But